Warhammer 40,000 IP leaves an impression that it's a propaganda by neo-fascists. Because most of the players are, they took satire and use it straight up and ironically. But outside the fans, the universe itself is full of all kinds of things. Besides the corrupt neo-fascist cuck-servo-cucks living in infested hive cities, where they partner with all kinds of forces they pretend to fight, while being inevitably corrupted into chaos, there's human-eating magic mushrooms, there's liberals with Nurgle and Slaanesh, there's Destroy All Humans robots, the BDSM Club, the Feminazi Club, the Scientologists, and even some mostly good sub-factions. Also, Warhammer is famous for how much Blizzard stole from it.
It goes something like this. In the beginning, we were all fish, okay? Swimming around in the water. And then one day, a couple fish had a retard baby, and the retard baby was different, so it got to live. So retard fish goes on to make more retard babies, and then one day a retard baby fish crawled out of the ocean with its mutant fish hands, and it had butt sex with a squirrel or something and made this retard frog squirrel. And then that had a retard baby, which was a monkey fish frog. And then this monkey fish frog had butt sex with that monkey, and that monkey had a mutant retard baby that screwed another monkey, and that made you. So there you go. You're the retarded offspring of 5 monkeys having butt sex with a fish squirrel. Congratulations.
The RTS genre is an evolutionary dead end evolved from tactical games. The first RTS ever made, Dune 2, is a spiritual sequel to Crescent Hawk 2 with design entirely driven by the license. For some time, no one even wanted to touch the genre. But the technology was advancing, and we went from Crescent Hawk menu unit controls to CNC rubber frame, and Warcraft 2 newfangled 2-button mice, to Carsacks offering battles between 16,000 units. RTT and RTS continued to evolve in parallel, stealing GUI and controls improvements from each other. More powerful PCs allowed RTS to get closer and closer to wargames in scale, while keeping the beautiful graphics and models, instead of using Excel sheets with boring flat digital board game symbolic tokens. Along comes Relic and reinvents the wall. RTS was trying to break all this time, because they wanted to make only full 3D games on 1999 hardware. Instead of making a 3D RTS game, they forced RTS to have butt sex with RTT to have a mutant offspring that is neither RTS nor RTT. And that is how they created Homeworld. It is all just fake flat space inside empty skyboxes, a trick used just to save polycount and computing, by removing the terrain entirely. No need to render it and no need to make unit AI that will fail to calculate paths. Just trace a direct line between 2 points. Next they grounded the same idea with a new reskin, after which they forced that Witoded frog monkey to have butt sex with another RTT to create another mutant that is neither a very low-stakes RTT or a very degenerate debollocked RTS game, because it doesn't feature the core gameplay mechanics of either genre. The stupid infantry has too much HP and it is limited in number and demands constant babysitting and individual customization. The technology progression is extremely primitive and low-tier. The best units you have is a transports filled with infantry. Dawn of War is one of the first games in this genre of on-rail corridor tactical strategy hybrid, that paved the way both for the whole Dawn of War series and Company of Heroes series. So, there are all these cool and diverse factions in Warhammer 40,000. Forget about them. In this game you only play as space Nazis. There's only one campaign for the most boring faction. Typical Relic. For Skirmish there are 4 factions, 2 of which just copy each other almost entirely. The campaign has a lot of cutscenes, and consists of primitive on-rails maps, where enemy AI is brain-dead. So, you can blitz through the story faster than it gets old, which overall makes it a captivating enough one-time experience. But the unit AI is insanely dumb. It's easy to lose a half of the army to friendly fire. And that insanely dumb unit AI is also used in Company of Heroes, where the price of this stupidity is much higher. The problems with formations of multiple squads are even more serious than the problem with fleet formations in Supreme Commander. The squads just spread far out, while their attack range is very small. So, either you just watch how one squad fights an overwhelming enemy force, while the rest just look, Or you manually control every squad like it's Dune 2, in the game that came out after Age of Empires 2. I never liked Warhammer 40,000 because all you can see about it through osmosis is neo-fascism and turbo-Nazism. But this game changed my mind. It has brilliant sound design.
Ox, 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 ox.
And it gives some screen time to the cool aliens. It even has units respond to boarding and deboarding.
Disembarking.
The graphics look decent. They even have yapping mouths when the characters are talking. But the direction and the action in the cutscenes is as bad as the sound design is good. And then the game has an extremely low FOV, which is extremely bad in both these genres.